For years, psychologists have debated whether humans are born inherently good or evil. Some argue that we're naturally selfish, while others believe that we're born with an instinct to help and cooperate. But what if I told you that before a baby can talk, crawl, or even walk, they already recognize the difference between good and bad? Thanks to this, many psychologists now believe that humans are born with an innate moral compass. And in this video, we'll be taking a dive into the experiments and research that led to this surprising conclusion. Are humans born with a sense of right and wrong, or do we learn morality over time? Researchers over at Yale University set out to investigate this exact question. How, you might ask? Their method was simple, but brilliant at the same time. They created a puppet show experiment for infants between 3 and 10 months old. During the show, one puppet attempted to open a box and reach for a toy, while the second puppet, the quote-unquote helper, assisted by opening the box, while the third puppet, the quote-unquote hinderer, slammed the box shut or stole the toy. The purpose of this assignment was to make sure infants weren't responding to random movements or bright colors, but instead to the social meaning of the actions, helping versus preventing somebody from reaching their goal. And the results that came from this experiment were shocking. In the original version of the experiment, all 10 to 6-month-old infants chose the helper puppet, and 14 out of the 16 8-month-olds did the same exact thing. That's nearly 100% and 87.5% preference for the pro-social behavior, long before babies even have a genuine grasp for the definition of good and evil. To eliminate bias, the researchers even switched puppet colors, shapes, species, and role, yet babies still preferred the helper. The conclusion was bold. This preference wasn't random, but rather a question of morality way before they even know its true definition. However though, science continued to evolve. When later studies tried to replicate the experiment with larger sample sizes, the results became mixed. Some follow-ups still found that majority of the babies still preferred the helper, at around 75%, but in a massive multi-lab replication involving over 1,000 infants, found that only about 49% chose the helper, basically leaving it up to chance level. In other words, the original effect may be real, but possibly weaker, less universal, or more dependent on the context than previously thought. Social norms contribute to a significant amount in shaping how our inherent tendencies appear in our day-to-day lives. Even if humans are born with a small sense between right and wrong, society is the very thing that encourages or discourages behaviors such as empathy, fairness, and cooperation. Through different cultural values, expectations, and roles, guiding our natural moral sense and turning raw instincts into socially acceptable behavior. In conclusion, the Yale experiment puts into perspective that humans are naturally more sensitive to behaviors such as those of kindness and fairness, hinting at the idea that goodness has the potential to be embedded in our biology. At the same time, human behavior is complicated. Social norms, culture, and roles all play a part on whether we act on that instinct or simply override it as a whole. Together though, both biology and society balance out to create the moral pathways we attribute to, showing that humans are neither purely good nor evil, but instead a mix of innate and external forces.